Guys, good afternoon. I thought I'd hit you guys with a review. It's quite short notice. I do know I've just announced that I got a pair of these Brooks Hyperion Elite 2s.
The fight to stay alive, not buried underground. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to move for me. Oh, you don't have to say anything. You don't have to do anything.
I managed to do 2 runs in them, so this is kind of my initial feel on this running shoe. It's not my full review on the running shoe, unfortunately. I'm not going to have time in the next about week or two, unfortunately, because I'm heading off to Italy and I'm doing a race there, so I'm not going to have time to put too much mileage in the shoe. I can only take shoes with me that I'm going to be racing in on that side and doing some speed work in before the race. So yeah, my initial feeling on these shoes, as I said, I've done 2 runs in these shoes. Brooks Netherlands or Brooks Benelux sent me these shoes out to try to see how fast they are and how good they are, and whether this is the fastest carbon plate running shoe out there. That's a question mark still, but yeah, a really great first impressions on the shoe with the first 2 runs that I did in them. 2 days ago, I did an easy half-an-hour run in the shoe with a stride at the end of about like 2 minutes. We're kind of built up to speed, kind of to see what the shoe feels like going on the toe off, and when I put a lot of power through the shoe. I also used my trusty stride power meter as well when I did some intervals today, so I could try and compare my heart rate as well as power files together on the same loop that I usually run. So if you guys just see here, you guys can see this is the loop that I ran today. I did a 12-minute build during this run, and I kind of built up the power as I went. It's kind of great using the stride, just because if there's trees around and stuff and the GPS is kind of slightly off, then I can go on power and it's consistent, and I can make sure I know what my FTP or my maximum threshold is with a stride, which is about 430 watts to 440 watts, depending on how fit I am. And so yeah, I can kind of go off that and build accordingly for the intervals, which really does help when GPS is not working very well due to trees and due to other environments being in there. Show you guys the weight. It might have some gravel on it still, so maybe that'll add maybe 1 gram, or just reset it. Better get it right here on the scale. There we go, 228 grams. That's in a size US 10. So yeah, let's go on to first initial feelings of the shoe. One big thing I noticed, so let's start off with the positives, and then we're going to head off to the things that could maybe be improved a tiny bit. But yeah, we head on to the positive. Soft. The shoe is really soft. It was great. It was great to run. In the first run, I definitely felt it's very similar to the Vaporfly feel. I'll just put it out there. It's really soft. The foam is... you can feel it when you're running. It really does when you land, kind of go in the heel or the outside, especially through corners. You can feel it a bit. It's very soft. The fit on the upper on the shoe is amazing. It is great, really is great. The lock-in of the shoe is amazing. So the heel cup really is at an angle, if you can see here. So it definitely does hook. It locks your heel into the back of the shoe, so your heel kind of locks in there. Which is also amazing and great, and I've heard other guys really praise the fit of the shoe, and they're 100% correct. The fit of the shoe is really good. One thing I will mention, I'll go on to a few of the things that could maybe be improved a tiny bit, is kind of the fit on the shoe in the forefoot. As you can see, the shoe is extremely wide. It's got extremely wide forefoot on the shoe, as in to do with how it actually lands onto the road. Is quite a forefoot, but as soon as you head towards the toe box in the front, it does kind of get narrow right near the front of the shoe. So I noticed that it seems like I might need to go one size bigger in the shoe. So I'm normally a size US 9, a size US 10. I might need to go a US size 11 to make sure that my toe just doesn't bang onto the front of the shoe. Depends on how your foot is, if you have a wide forefoot or if you've got a narrow forefoot. So for narrow forefoot, this shoe would be perfect, but I've got a little bit of a wider forefoot, and so it does kind of bang on the front there a little bit. And I noticed with the sizing, usually I like to kind of go one finger, or as I said before, about half a centimeter to a centimeter space up in the front, and my toes almost right up near the front. So I think I might try and get one size bigger in this shoe just to make it a little bit more comfortable and to make sure my toe doesn't hit on the front of the shoe. Next thing, I will just head on to the shoelaces. The shoelaces are great. You mustn't tighten the shoelaces too hard on the shoe because the tongue comes up extremely high in the shoe. So what happens is if you over tighten the top part of the shoe, it kind of blocks your ankle from going through your stride. So if you're going to get a pair of these shoes, don't over tighten it, kind of tighten quite tight near the front, and kind of as you go up, kind of obviously kind of like loosen or make it looser near the top, especially right near the top. Some people might want to kind of remove the top one completely and then just tighten it up to there, so you kind of have you have more room for your ankle to move when you're actually going through your stride. You do kind of notice that also because there's a carbon plate. It can kind of, if you tighten at the top there, it locks your foot in too much from rolling. So try not to tighten the top too much, just to allow your foot to actually go through a normal foot strike and roll through. We'll head on to, so that was the top. The shoelaces, these tend to tangle themselves quite easy. They're very, very thin, as you can see here. Not really stretchy, a little bit stretchy. They're great shoelaces, I'll say that much. The shoe, let's just have a smell. Still smells the same. Still smells like a Mercedes-Benz or BMW, which is great because my feet sometimes stink. So yeah, after those 2 runs, they still smell pretty good. The shoelaces, I said, they get tangled a little bit, so they can kind of self-tangle themselves quite easily. So just be aware of that. If it annoys you, your shoelaces are getting tangled, this will kind of get a little bit tangled. Yeah, and I think so that's the upper. The sole, I've said, it's very soft. Let's go on to performance of the shoe. One of my big things is, how fast does the shoe run? Does it feel great when you run fast? How does it feel when you run slow? These are things, not everyone reviews on, but what is the performance like of the shoe? Or how do I feel the performance is of the shoe? You get a lot of reviews that tell you, it's a big stack height, this and that, the small little bits of detail. I'm going to try and get into those for you guys. Try and give you guys a good, honest feedback of how it felt for me. And hopefully for some of you guys, you might relate a little bit to how it feels for you with a shoe as well. So yeah, as I said there, I kind of had a tiny little bit of irritation on the heel cup. At the end of my run, I felt it kind of rubbing on my heel. You guys, what I mean here by my Achilles a little bit, kind of rub there tiny bit in the top. And I think it might be just a little bit from this groove here. It's got quite a lip here in the heel of the shoe. And that lip there might be a little bit too much just for my heel, as well as it also being very arced. The back of the shoe, you see the arc here is very sharp. Depends on what socks you wear as well with the shoe. Also, if you're running on the road, I ran a tiny bit off-road as well with the shoe. The shoe is not designed for running off-road. It's designed for running on tar road, on smooth tar roads. So off-road is not where the shoe is designed for. Another thing is that the shoe, when you run in it, it makes it feel like, you can't go slowly in the shoe. And I found that a lot of the carbon plate racing shoes, is that running slow in the shoe is actually quite hard. It sounds weird, but there's so much, there's so much cushioning going on, and plus the plate, that running slowly before you do your intervals or anything like that actually feels a bit laborsome and doesn't feel that comfortable. It does feel easy though, because you're getting a nice bounce off the toe. With a shoe, you do get a really great bounce off the toe. And another thing as well is the plate. I've kind of started to do this bend test. This one is quite firm. Some of the other shoes, the plates are a little bit softer. So having a firm plate, you kind of need to be running really fast to feel the benefit for this running shoe. Obviously, then the slower you go, you kind of end up going against the carbon plate to a degree. So yeah, it's definitely designed to run fast. And when I head towards 4 minutes a kilometer, the shoe started to feel more alive. At 3:30 minutes a kilometer or 3:30 minutes a kilometer, yeah, the shoe definitely felt even more alive. It was in the trails. Ended off at about 3 minutes a kilometer at the end of my interval session. So I did 12-minute build all the way from 4 minutes or 350 per kilometer all the way to 3 minutes a kilometer. It was slightly off-road. And towards the end at about 315 or 310 a kilometer, it really started to come alive. And I really did notice actually landing and pushing through off the carbon plate. Felt much better and felt really, really good. So that's my initial feelings on the shoe. it's not a long-term review. This is a real short-term review, just something that I thought I'd give it out to you guys just because I'm leaving and I'm going to be going away for a while. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy this initial review of the Brooks Hyperion Elite 2. Let's just make sure I get it 100% right. And yeah, it's a great feeling. It's a really, really good feeling shoe. I think this is definitely going to be a winner. Definitely going to be something that people will want to buy. Probably out of all the shoes I've tested thus far, this really does rank up quite highly on the top carbon plate shoes that I've tested. And yeah, all the other review guys were 100% correct. The shoe does feel similar to the Vaporfly. And yeah, I'm looking forward to spend more miles in this shoe before I take my holiday. Also in the holiday, I'll be testing shoes and stuff so you guys can get my feedback. I'll be moving to South Africa then, so hopefully I'll be able to get shoes to test out in South Africa as well. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And if you guys want to see any more other reviews on running shoes in specific, you guys can see them. They're here at the top 2 pieces, the recent reviews I've done on other carbon plate racing shoes in the last few months. So yeah, also a big shout out to everyone who subscribed to my channel. Thank you very much. I'm at 9,000 subscribers now, which is really, really cool. And if you guys can go ahead and give this video the thumbs up. And to new subscribers, thanks for watching this video. You guys rock. And yeah, if you guys can go ahead and subscribe, that would be awesome. We've got awesome things coming up. I'm starting with memberships now as well shortly. So I'm going to have memberships on my channel, as well as looking at merchandise and other cool things. And I've also done my first live video as well recently about what's going on. So I'll be doing some live reviews in the coming weeks. And yeah, I hope you guys can tune in for them, comment, and I'll have some supers as well, which you guys can head on if you guys want to ask me specific comments during the live videos. You guys can give me your questions, and I'll give you guys your answers in real life time, and hope you guys will enjoy that as much as I will. So yeah, looking forward to giving you guys another review soon, and yeah, hope you guys enjoy this.